There is a different energy in Metairie right now, a sense that the New Orleans Saints are finally stepping into a brand new era. You can feel the weight of expectation hanging over the facility because the future isn't just a concept anymore. It is officially on the grass. Real Saints fans know that this roster is at a massive crossroads, and every single move matters for our Super Bowl window. Before we dive into the shifting landscape of this team, hit that like button and subscribe to join the most faithful community in the NFL. We are building something. The official word is out, and the room is almost full, but the silence from one corner is deafening right now. 7 out of 8 draft picks have signed their names on the dotted line, and the energy around Jordan Tyson is absolutely electric. Our 8th overall pick is officially locked in with a fully guaranteed $32.5 million contract over the next 4 years. He was out there in Metairie showing off the hands and the speed that made us fall in love with his tape during the draft process. But here is the thing that every real fan is looking at with a bit of concern. While the first round excitement is through the roof, there is a shadow being cast over the practice facility. Christian Miller, our second round defensive tackle, is currently the lone man standing on the outside of these official deals. He was there, and he was physically present at the facility, but he was not participating in the drills. That creates a specific kind of tension in a building where everyone is trying to prove they belong to the culture. It is not just about one player, because it is about the message it sends to the locker room. When 7 guys put pen to paper and one does not, you start to wonder if there is a deep disconnect in the negotiations. The Saints released the news that all these deals are for 4 years, but the guaranteed money is where the battle lines are being drawn. We saw this exact scenario play out last year, and now we are seeing history repeat itself with another high-value pick. It makes you realize that while the roster looks incredibly deep, it is still very fragile at this stage. We have Oscar Delp and Jeremiah Wright and Bryce Lance all ready to go for Kellen Moore. They are the foundation of the new identity we are building in New Orleans. But without Miller in that interior rotation, the vision feels incomplete. You want every piece of the puzzle to fit perfectly on day one. When one piece is missing, the whole picture feels slightly off, and that is the reality we are facing today. It is a mix of pure adrenaline and a nagging sense of uncertainty for our defensive front. This situation demands our attention. Deepening the analysis, we have Oscar Delp coming in from Georgia, and he looks like a mountain out there already. Then you have Jeremiah Wright and Bryce Lance adding that much needed depth to the offensive side of the ball. Lorenzo Styles and Barian Brown are bringing that secondary and special teams energy that can often be the difference between a winning season and a losing one. Even TJ Hall in the 7th round is someone the coaching staff is keeping a very close eye on. But the deeper you look into these signings, the more you realize that the Saints are playing a very specific game with their cap space and their future. Signing 7 out of 8 guys before the first weekend of minicamp is a statement of intent. It shows that Mickey Loomis and the front office want to eliminate distractions as fast as possible. They want the focus to stay on the grass and not in the agents' offices. But the Christian Miller situation is the fly in the ointment. When a second-round pick holds out, it usually comes down to that percentage of guaranteed money in the 3rd and 4th years of the deal. It is a business move, but it has emotional consequences for a team trying to build a unified culture under Kellen Moore. If the defense cannot get its primary interior reinforcement on the field, it puts more pressure on the veterans to carry the load during these crucial early sessions. We are talking about the foundation of the season being poured right now. If the concrete is missing a section, the whole structure is at risk. Fans are excited about Jordan Tyson because he is the shiny new toy, but the real work is done by the guys like Jeremiah Wright and TJ Hall who are fighting for every rep. This is the part of the year that defines the grit of the New Orleans Saints. We need every single one of these rookies to be locked in mentally and physically. The fact that most of them are already signed is a huge win, but that one missing signature is going to keep the local media talking until the ink is dry on Miller contract as well. We are waiting. Everything is on the line. This is where things change because the business side of the NFL is starting to collide with the emotional hopes of the Who Dat Nation. When you look at the $32.5 million we just committed to Jordan Tyson, you see the level of investment this franchise is willing to make for a game changer. They are betting the house on his ability to stretch the field and give this offense a dimension we have been lacking for years. But that massive investment also creates a ripple effect throughout the rest of the draft class. Every other rookie is looking at that deal and looking at their own value. That is likely what is happening with Christian Miller right now. He knows his worth on that defensive line, and he is making sure the team knows it too. But this is where the biggest question arises for the Saints. How long can we afford to let this linger? We have seen holdouts stretch into training camp before, and it almost always results in a slow start for the player involved. We cannot afford a slow start from a second-round defensive tackle who is expected to be a major part of the rotation. The tension is subtle, but it is definitely there. You can see it in the way the coaches answer questions about the roster. They want to talk about the guys who are practicing like Lorenzo Styles and Barian Brown. They want to focus on the progress of Oscar Delp. But the ghost of the unsigned pick is always in the room. This could become something much bigger if it is not resolved quickly. It could become a narrative that follows the team into the summer. And that is the last thing Kellen Moore needs in his first year at the helm. We are looking for stability, and we are looking for a sign that the front office and the players are on the same page. The speed at which they signed the other 7 picks suggests they are moving with urgency, but the Miller situation is the true test of their resolve. It is a high-stakes game of poker being played in May. The outcome will define the start of our season. I am going to be honest with you all, because this situation actually worries me more than I want to admit. I really like the move to get Tyson signed so quickly, because it shows a level of aggression we need to see from this leadership group. Seeing him out there in the black and gold is the kind of image that keeps us optimistic during the long off-season months. But I think fans should pay very close attention to how this Kristen Miller thing is handled over the next few weeks. This actually feels like a pivot point for the locker room chemistry. I love the potential of this draft class, and I think guys like Barry and Brown could be absolute steals for us in the later rounds. But I have seen too many promising Saints seasons get derailed by small distractions that turned into massive problems. This move to sign 7 guys is incredible, but it also highlights the one guy who is not there. I want to see this team unified, and I want to see Kellen Moore have every tool at his disposal from day one. There is a cautious optimism in the air, but it is tempered by the reality of the modern NFL, where contracts can sometimes get in the way of the game itself. I really believe this rookie class has the talent to push us back into the playoff conversation, and maybe even a deep run if things click. But everything has to go right. We do not have the luxury of wasted time or missing pieces on the defensive side of the ball. I am keeping my eyes on the practice reports every single morning to see if that 8th signature finally arrives. It is about more than just money at this point. It is about commitment to the goal of bringing another championship back to New Orleans. We have the talent and we have the coaching staff, but now we need the total buy-in from every single player who was called on draft night. This could be an incredible year for us, or it could become a problem if these small tensions are allowed to grow. We have to stay focused on the future goal. Our loyalty never ever wavers. The road ahead for the New Orleans Saints is finally starting to take shape, and the arrival of these 7 signed rookies is the first major step in that journey. But as we have seen today, the story is far from over. There is still a lingering question mark hanging over the defensive line, and that unresolved tension is going to be the main storyline until Kristen Miller officially joins his teammates on the field. The future of this franchise feels like it is resting on the shoulders of these young men, and the pressure is only going to intensify as we get closer to the preseason. We are standing at the beginning of what could be a transformative era for the Who Dat Nation, but we have to navigate these business hurdles first. I want to hear from you in the comments below, because your voice is what makes this community so strong. Do you think the Miller holdout is a major concern, or are you just focused on the excitement surrounding Jordan Tyson? Tell me your thoughts on this rookie class and what you expect to see from them this year. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an update on our Saints, because we are going to be covering every single move with the passion this team deserves. The journey is just beginning, and the best is yet to come for the faithful fans in New Orleans. Stay loud and stay proud, because our time is coming. Who Dat forever.